All right. Good morning, everybody. A little late today, but let's try to get this show on the road. Let me bring in Trading View really quick. All right, let's take a look at the charts. Good morning to everyone. See if we can get this done pretty quickly. How much time do we have? 4 minutes. All right, it's pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Bulls are in control. And we had a little pullback to that 220 area. I should have long there. Should have, could have, would have. Let's see if we get a retest. All right, here we go. 1 hour. Ascending channel. Clearly in an ascending channel for some time. Right? Boom and boom. So let's see how that ascending channel plays out. As far as levels for today, we just came down and tested that 230 area, would have been the long area, maybe a retest of that area. 230 coming back down to test down here. This would have been the perfect entry. I was getting everything set up, but I am going to watch for a potential pullback to this area. What can happen is they get caught up again, similar to Friday, where we push the next level. Next level will be 175. So probably a tight stop around here. I'm not going to entertain the whole pullback on one trade. I'll take a loss and then re-enter somewhere down here. If we rally right off the bat, then potentially testing previous day highs, initial resistance up here. But bulls for sure are in control today. No question about it. They finally broke out of that 22,800, 23,100 range that we were watching for a couple weeks. This range down here, we came out, we came back, and we just came back and tested right at the top of this. I'm going to keep it up because it's been a 3-week range, right? We came back and tested the top of that range, and for now, that has now become support. So watching that pretty carefully. Let me just not distract myself here. There we go. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Let's see, what do we got? 1:15 seconds. A little late today, but let's roll. See how far this push up goes, or if we're going to come back to test some of these levels. We have options though. All right, casino is now open. Let's see what we got here. Stock Trader 0000. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. All right, here they go. They're popping it right off the bat. I'm going to attempt the first short. I am going to give it a 310 area in terms of stop. In other words, failing overnight high. It's going to be a longer stop. Good morning to everyone. We have that pivot point up there at 310. If we push through that pivot point, then I'll flip to long. King Caesar closing his longs. Nicely done, brother. All All right, looks like bulls do want that pivot point. $300 test. If they push through here with force, then I'll have to wait for a pullback and participate in a long. I'm not liking the way the 200 SMA and the 9 now are curling. My initial target was the first test of that. So it looks like we have some bullish push right off the open. We're not even getting a test of the 9, so bring it in, zoomed in there. There we go. That looks a little better. The bulls have control on this initial move. See if that pivot point provides any resistance. Otherwise, I'll get stopped out, and then I'll have to flip. If they're really going to push this, and we're right off the bat going into a rally mode, then I'll have to flip to a long. Pivot point's at 310. 307, so I'm giving about 5 extra points on that pivot point test. So far, no pullback, no test of the 9 yet. So I think the bulls are going to push this. No pullback yet. A little slow grind up. But it looks like they're going to pop it above the pivot point. At that point, I'll get stopped. And I'll have to figure out what comes next. All right, they're definitely popping it over the pivot point. That was a strong pop with minimal resistance. That other JC, good morning everyone. Good morning, happy Monday. I'm half asleep here, but good morning. All right, stopped out on that one. I was hoping to get a test of this area again, but it looks like that 280 was the bounce area, and they're pushing. So now the question is, how do we participate on the upside? Or if it's going to fade out here and then we'll get the short, let's see. But I'm going to wait for a little bit. $310, $320 area will be my next. Oof. I'll attempt another short up there. If not, they're just going to run this today, and it'll be difficult. All right, I'm going to short the 320 area. If they continue to push this, then I'm trying to short a rally, which is no bueno. Let me give myself 340 stop. Pushing all-time highs. No significant pullback yet. Not even a test of the 9 yet. So let's see. Be patient on this one. Attempting to test that pivot point again. Not a strong pullback. If it holds there and it bounces, then I gotta flip or take a little break until we see some type of pullback. Yep, they're pushing this. All right, so that test the 9 right now failed to flush. They got strength today. All right. Bulls got some strength this morning. Unrelentless. We've only had one test of the 9. That's not good. These bulls are pushing. It's not good for me, at least. If you're in a long, that's good. King Caesar, King Scalper, already in some green. All right, today short bias just got punished pretty brutally. That 220 area was the bounce. I was hoping for a retest on some of these shorts. Not playing out. Looks like we're pushing all-time highs. Pretty strong today. So at this point, I'll have to wait for a stronger pullback and see if I participate in a long. It's gonna be tough to short this again, and of course, once I'm squeezed out, that's when the short happens. Damn, no joke today. All right, 100 points right off the open, straight up. Full 87. All right, let's take a little break. Let's see if there's a pullback on this. I don't know if I can FOMO in on a long just without a pullback. We've been through this before. These are the days that you just hop on along and don't worry about the pullback and ride it. So maybe I'll watch for a pullback and attempt a long, but it's not giving anything significant in terms of a pullback. And like I said, we've seen these type of moves. You don't question the bulls, you just hop on. And let's see if there is a pullback on this. And of course, I get stopped out, and then we get the short that I'm looking for. All right, 15-minute opening range alarm. We get into breakout, or are we going to come back down and test some of the levels? I burned already on 2 shorts, so I think I'm even if the short plays out, I may have to let it go, and be a little patient on this next move. Wow. Wow. These bulls. Whoa. That was your pullback. All right. No joke. Well, that was any short bias was just punished pretty brutally. All right, let's see what we got here. They're pushing this hard. Look at that. All right, they just hit another pivot point, 388. Are they going to push through that pivot point like it's butter too? Huh. Well, there you go, all-time highs. what, about 140 points so far on the open with no pullback. Oh, you gotta love those days. You just watch it afterwards. All right, they just came to that 390, 400 area. I may try a recovery short up there, just for some points. But if they're gonna push through this like it's nothing, then shorting, I'd be trading against the trend. Just when you think it can't go any higher without a pullback, it does. Peter Chan, a pullback will always happen. Just wait. Let's see. I mean, we've had those days with no pullback, or at least a significant pullback. We're at that 390, 400 level. All right, they're attempting to pull back here at this pivot point, 380 pivot point. Here's that 9 EMA. Are they going to test it? So far, only one test of the 9 on this move up. If they're going to push over this pivot point and over 400, then they'll pop it right here. Which it looks like that's what they want to do. Wow. A lot of strength. But they want more. Here goes 400. John, what's going on? Nate, that's a good idea. I'm slowing it down. I'm gonna take a little break and see if I can either hop on this long or participate in a short. I don't know. But, bulls are in control. It's gonna be tough to short this again. All right, I'm gonna hop on along and I'm gonna watch this little consolidation area. set a stop. 600 will be a break below that. Oops. I'll watch it. If we get a snap below this, then I have to close it. Stronger pullback, and then potentially grab it on a wider pullback. If it is the short that I was looking for, which is now would be the pivot point rejection, then bad timing this morning. Yeah, the look above and fail. That's nasty NASDAQ. Definitely, definitely an option here. All right, I just tested the 9. Let's see if the 9 provides the bounce, and they pushed us above pivot point. We are in a little consolidation area. This could get dragged out, but I'm playing now. Break of the pivot point. We're an all-time high, so technically no level up there. Pretty much in recovery mode, so we'll see how long we can ride this. If we break above, if we break below this range, below the 9 with strength, and I got to clip it and get punished for not being patient on a stronger pullback. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, so attempting the break of that pivot point. Let's see if we can push this. We're in all-time high mode, so in terms of levels, can we push this for maybe, where is the 440 area? Somewhere up here. Then reevaluate, or we can just ride it. Well, depends on how strong this breakout out of that little bull flag that it started there. All right, attempting that 400 break and pivot point now. Monitoring this consolidation range. If I get breaks or homeless candles below this, I'll have to absorb, I'll have to close it, knowing that it may be just a pullback, but I can't take the drawdown since I'm front running this push. All right, testing that 9 again. Let's see if there's any strength to push above this pivot point, or if that's pretty much the end, and at that point we get the pullback that I was looking for in other levels. So attempted to push above that pivot point and just failed. And now we're getting a stronger pullback. Breaks below the 20. with a hold, in other words, not a wick, I got to close it. So if it flushes the 20 right now, which is what it's looking to do, I have to clip it. Okay, the 9 is holding. We're attempting once again to push over that pivot point. It's that 386 level. They can push, then they want 400, and they can probably exaggerate that 400 move. But they got to push above this. They got to pop it. And at that point, I would probably set a target around 440. But let's worry about getting there first. $425. If it does push above 400 and they're able to push this without losing it, 425 will be a good indicator if they're going to really push this today. But we got to get over 400 and get to 425 and then see how much strength they have up there. But they got to push above this pivot point and hold. And hold. So far, not holding. It's the second wick above on that pivot point. Caesar's done. He's locking in the master account. Nicely done, brother. All right, another touch of that 9, and it's holding. So if they're able to pop it above 400, 425 would be the next level I look at in terms of strength. If it fades there, then I may have to take profit for now and then readjust, but still hasn't pushed above the pivot point with strength. It's coming back to test a couple of times. And at this point, I do have to set a stop below this level. You got the 20 SMA, you got the 9 EMA now in the range. A flush below that would mean game over for the whole thing. So there's no point of taking that much heat on this play. I'll let it flush just in case it wants to stop some ANSI entries like mine. It's about 15-point stop. That's good. At that point, if it flushes below the 200, then I'm in trouble. I'm sorry, the 20 SMA. Let's see if they can push above 400. NQ loves its whole numbers, so, and if they're able to push above 400, we may see a quick little pop to 425, but still has to, it's still struggling at this pivot point. I'm still not convinced on the pivot point break. It's holding, it's trying to hold, but like I said, a flush above the, below the 9 and the 20, that would be bad news in terms of continuation on this wave. It could just be the pullback for continuation, but at that point I'll have to consider another entry or call it a day. Be right back, guys. All right, so let's see what we get. They can push this above 400, 425. That's our one up there. And then at 425, if we do get up there, I'll have to monitor if it's a pop above 425 and they want to ride this. At that point, I'll probably have to settle for 440 for now, and then reevaluate if we're going to get some type of pullback for another long. But still has to push. Pushing for 400. Can they pop it, or are they going to wick it and then come back down? All right, they're going for that 400 break. And they pop it and continue, or is it just going to be a wick and then we take a pullback for a test of that pivot point again? Not popping it yet. Ooh. Struggling. They're attempting to pop it. Let's see if they can. All right, there goes the initial attempt. 400 becoming the wall of China. All right, so they're coming back to test 90 EMA. They're testing, they're struggling at 400. It's not happening. All right, here we go. We're starting to see now a little bigger failure. That's the test of the 20. If it flushes now here, then we're probably going to take a stronger pullback, and then I'll have to consider if I want to reattempt this or call it a day. All right, that's the failure now, breaking below the 20. See if they can hold this. Otherwise, we're taking a stronger pullback, and they'll probably attempt the 400 break on the next wave or at a later time. Just not on this wave. All right, trying to push above those moving averages. Just tested that pivot point. Can they bounce, or is it a failure at 400? Looks like they're going to start turning it around here. Potential further downside. If the 20 and the 9 hold, they need to pop. They need to pop this quickly. All right, now we're getting a little pop. Let's see if they can get above these wicks. It's that 402. They can pop it above 402. Like I said, next level is 425. Then we'll see if that's going to be the stronger pullback area, or they're going to blast right through it. And then I'll have to probably just settle for 440 right now. Take a little bit of green. Struggling. Unable to push above that 402. It's the third attempt on the 5-minute. unable to push above 402. They've been teasing it now for good 20 minutes. All right, here it goes. Last attempt. And they pop it. Okay, there's the pop, but is it a pop or with a hold or just a wick? They didn't hold it. So far, it's a wick. Oh, King Caesar, yeah, I gotta update all those coupons. Thanks for reminding me. All right, let's see if they want a 400 run. They want to run this a little further up on 400. So far, unable to hold above 402. Falling apart. Coming down to test that pivot point again. Like I said, no hold yet above 400, 402 to be exact, on a 5-minute candle. Attempting to break down again. Pivot point test. Testing the top of that little consolidation area, going back into that consolidation area. They're trying to push over 400, not happening. And now we're back to snail pace. Really slow and tempting. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Gotta get some water. Am I still on mute? Okay, here we go. Thanks for letting me know. So we're coming back to test the top of this consolidation zone. Could be a look above and fail, and we flush hard back into this range. If bulls want to push this above 400 today, then just depends on timing, what wave they're going to do it. Do they need a stronger pullback first? Tricky. We are in that ascending channel, right? Boom and boom. Let's see how long it can respect that. So they need to hold this breakout area, that 400, 402. They're testing it right now. That's the bottom of this ascending channel, right? 1 and 2. We're testing the bottom of it. Just when you thought you'd have a nice little easy Monday small price action or slow price action, you get a big move right off the bat. 100 points right at the open. First 15 minutes. Am I still on mute? Am I still on mute? I don't think so. Just the trader, it's going up another 100. Just when you say you can't, it does. That's the problem with NQ. Can't go any higher, right? Can't go any higher, and then pushes up. So I'm watching for 425. If they're able to hold 400 or that 402 area specifically, then next stop is 425. Depending on what happens up there, if we get there, I'll have to either close or continue to ride to 440. But we may have to take a stronger pullback first, and that would hurt my entry. We'll see. Whatever it does, it's not making it easy in any direction after the initial move. It's trying to stay above 400. Yeah, I agree with you, Just a Trader. They're not letting it pull back too strong, which is good. So let's see what happens at 425. 425 would be the next pop. If we push right through, then 440 would happen pretty quickly. But they got to push above this area. They got to get out of this. They've been consolidating here a little too long. Let's go. Still got to pop it above this area. Otherwise, what'll hurt my position is if they have to test again the bottom of this range. And at that point, I got to make decisions. All right, see if they can pop it above, what is it, 419? 425 would be the touch. If they can push above 425 and just continue, then 440 might be in the works. Here we go, 425, let's go. It's a pivot point right there at 420, not 425, it's 427, 428. I'm making it easy with this grind up. All right, let's see if they can pop it here. Ooh, no, not yet. And they pop it above that pivot point at 428. There they go. They're going for that pivot. R1. Not yet. Hasn't touched it yet. Okay, 440. No, 428 has to be. You have to push above 428. Right around here. If they can pop 428, because 428 is the top of that ascending channel. If they can pop it, then it's a breakout out of that channel. Otherwise, it'll take a pullback there. Come on. Let's see if you can get that pivot point. 428. Pop it, and hold. A pop it, a hold, and a push would be beautiful. A respect to that channel. Ugh, not what I want. Not what I want. Come on, pop 428. Pop 428 and just continue. Ugh, struggling. Came back to get a little test of the 9. Let's go. Come on. See how much consolidation it needs to push above 428. If there's not much consolidation, then we may get, like I said, we may get the quick pop to 440. We're right in the middle of that ascending channel. Struggling at that pivot point. Here we go. Can they pop it? Can you pop it? 428. Just push right through. Ooh. No. And they pop it. Need to pop, hold, and give me another green candle. If they can't do that, then we're taking a pullback here. Not making it easy. Struggling to get over 428. Not happening. At least not yet. Well, if you're new to the stream and you're enjoying the content, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe. We're in a long. Now waiting to see what 428 does. Can they push above 428 and continue? Or do they need a sharper pullback before they continue their leg up? Here goes the next attempt. Ooh, rejected. Now they are starting to take a stronger pullback. Let's see. See if it gets bought up like it has so far, or we start seeing the beginning of a sharper pullback. Struggling to stay above 400. Yeah, Donald, starting to wick up there. If we fall back into this breakout of the consolidation and this doesn't hold, then yeah, sharper pullback is coming. Now I'm watching for the re-entry into this consolidation zone. If we take a sharper pullback in there, unfortunately I may have to close and reattempt the long later or call it a day. Struggling. Right now it's attempting to re-enter that consolidation zone. If we don't get any bounce here, then yeah, I think we're gonna have to test again these levels, and I'll have to close my position and re-enter somewhere down here. That's that 402 area that was critical for the break to the upside. If they can't hold 400, then we have a sharper pullback. If they continue to hold above 400, then there's potential for further upside. There's a nice little bounce at the test of that 400 area, right? That was the breakout area. So we just came back, tested it. It's a nice little candle. Needs to continue though. Like I said, 428 is the next area if they can get above that. Otherwise, fortunately, a stronger pullback, and then I'll have to reconsider if I want to try another long. Yep, struggling above 400. Not able to push up there. We had a nice little recovery candle, and now right back down. And they hold. Well, good morning to everyone. If you're enjoying the content and enjoying the stream, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe, help me out with the YouTube algo. In a long, trying to see if we continue all-time highs or we take a stronger pullback here. Yeah, this is key. I agree with you, King Caesar. It's got to hold 400 to continue to the upside. Otherwise, we'll have to take a pivot point test again down at 3. What did we say that pivot point was at? 390. I'll have to take some profit here and then re-enter on a long if I really want to do this. We'll call it a day. So the ascending channel, the Ascending channel to the upside is breaking down right now. I don't know. Looking good. They can pop it right back to, where were they? 425. That's where that pivot point is. Then there's hope for continuation on this wave. If not, they're going to have to test that pivot point. I'll have to close somewhere around here, re-enter, or call it a day. Or just let the stop. But then they can do a stop hunt run and I'll get killed. All right, looks like they are looking for that pivot point test. They're coming back into this consolidation area. Pivot point is at 390. They're unable to pop above 400 right now. Doesn't mean they won't. Just can't take a full pullback on it. It's fading. Definitely not making it easy in any direction. Crypto Rico, good morning, sir. Thank you, brother. All right, can they hold 400? $395. Pivot point is at 380. The pivot point doesn't hold, then longer pullback. Re-pushed up is being sold down now, so it's flipped. We were getting every pullback bought up. Now it's been flipping. Every push up is being sold back down. Struggling to hold 400. All right, now it's testing pivot point. This is the make or break area. Will the pivot point hold and we just needed to test for a push up? Or is that pretty much it? All-time high is set and we need a stronger pullback, and at that point I'll probably get stopped out and I'll call it a day. Testing that pivot point. Yeah, Donald, that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to flush it, a quick stop hunt run to probably my stop, that 360 area, and then rip it. I'll let the stop go and then consider if I want to re-enter on a long. Could just be one of those days. Walk out before you make the loss worse, but we'll see. Technically, my stop is the entry on that bounce, so I just can't risk more drawdown if they want to flush this down. So it is what it is. They're testing pivot point now. They flush below this. This is where I'll be watching to either get stopped out and potentially re-enter, or they're going to flush this further down. Bears are stair-stepping it down. They've now pushed below the pivot point. With no pop. Yeah, VWAP's all the way down to 340. That's why I'll take the stop now, then potentially re-enter. But even if they go down to 340, that's a potential reversal on the whole move up. So at that point, I'll have to just call it a day. All right, we're attempting to bounce that pivot point, but it's got to push through these moving averages now. All right, do me a favor, if you're new to the stream or just tuning in, smash that like, smash that subscribe. We're battling here. NQ is push above 400. unable to continue this move up above 400. So let's see if we're going to get a stronger reversal on this. And at that point, I'll probably have to, like I said, walk out for the day. But it ain't over till it's over. Tempting to bounce, but it's weak. The move has faded. And it's slow. I'll be right back, guys. All right, we're back. We go anywhere? Still stuck there? Undecided on that pivot point? Yeah, it's struggling to get it back up above 400. I was hoping that we'd get a move, stronger move outside of 400 or above 400. We talked about this 428 area as the next pivot point, and we took a little pullback there, but not out of the woods yet. Struggling up here for sure. If it does manage to get back up here, like I said, it needs to push above 428. Then next level will be 440. But we're nowhere close to that. It's struggling to stay above 400 as it is. Now not looking good for me. If you caught one of those shorts, that's good. What, 428 short? That was a nice short. Unable to push above 400. Where is the 20 SMA on the 5-minute? 380. I'll let this stop play out. 378. If it flushes below 378, or pretty much where my entry is, then yeah, I don't think we have a bounce here. But she is starting to roll, no question. All right, here goes another push below that pivot point. May flush right down to 380. That could be your potential bounce. If it flushes below 380, then I think it's over for the bounce, at least on this wave. It's probably looking for a stronger pullback. And I'll just let the stop play out. But in the meantime, if you are enjoying the stream, do me a favor, help me out with the YouTube algo, smash that like, smash that subscribe. I bring it to you live, good trades, bad trades, tilt, losses, wins, fully transparent. So they've been attempting to flush below that pivot point. Pivot point for now, comes back down and holds. But can they get above these moving averages, and more importantly, get above 400, specifically that 405 area, and hold? That's going to be the key. Because I'm in a little drawdown, I can't add to this pivot point bounce. That could complicate my drawdown even further. So I'll take the loss, in other words, let the stop hit. And at that point, I think it's fair to call it a day. Walk out with potential $1,500 loss per account. But these are 150Ks. Still not close to my personal daily loss limit. But because of the way it played out, I think limiting further losses would be better for me today. All right, unable to push above those moving averages, the 9 and the 20 providing resistance. They were providing beautiful support to the upside, and now they're flipping where price action can't establish above, gets sold right back down. Yeah, or come back for power hour would be a good one. But I think just a break would be needed. See, it ain't over till it's over. As long as if the pivot point holds, then I'm good in the trade. If they're going to flush it below the pivot point and below 380, then I'm cooked. Just can't get above that 20. Literally. That's how it's looking. If you're new to the stream, the 90 MA is the blue line. The purple or magenta is the 20 SMA. We had a bull flag here that did not pop. We have another bull flag here. Let's see if this one pops. This one did not pop. Actually, it flushed right below. All right, like I said, if it needs to flush the 380, 385 area, it'll be a quick flush, and then you're looking for the wick in terms of a bounce. If it wicks and it holds, then yeah, we got more downtime. You could look at it as an extended bull flag there, right? I wouldn't short the bull flag until it truly breaks to the downside. It could go either way. There's your extended bull flag. Coming down to this little basing area. Can we get this pop out? Or do we get the flush down? It's getting to that make or break area though, for sure. Couple more candles and we'll see something. All right, here comes the touch of the 20 on the 5-minute. We can bounce off of that 20, we're good. We can bounce off of that 20 on the 5-minute. The move's alive. Okay, so if you look at the 5-minute, right, this is what I was watching for on my other charts. Touch the 20 on the 5-minute, and initially we bounced. Can that bounce hold for continuation and out of this bull flag? We'll see. No continuation on that bounce on the 20 SMA on the 5-minute right now. It's not good. But like I said, I'll let the stop play out, and if it stops me, then be it. I think I'm done for the day. $380. Now it's pushing below. I said 380. If it pushes below that and holds, then we're in trouble. Or I'm in trouble. Now establishing itself below the 20 on the 5-minute. That long is not looking good. No bounce. Getting tighter and tighter. Unable. I'm long at 377 right here. This is my entry. It's not popping out. Can't pop out. It's trying. All right, here we go. Make or break. Flush or the pop? Attempting to pop out of that descending wedge or bull flag, whatever you want to call it. And it popped out of that bull flag. And more importantly, stay above 405. We come back and test 405 and come right back down. Yeah, no good. Whatever it's doing, not making it easy today. Well, at least after that initial easy play to the upside that I didn't capture. At least I didn't capture in the right direction. All right, they're going for another attempt to push above 400. If the bull flag plays out, then we may have life to this trade, but it's got to play out. They got to push above 405 and hold. All right, this is the make or break. Will 405 become resistance, or are they trying to build that now as support to the upside? $400 becoming resistance. Bummer. Can't get above 400. It's not good for my position. If you're short, that's good. Well, they're going to extend this and make it even harder. All right, they're going for 400, but weak to say the least. All right, I got to get some more coffee. I'll be right back. I'm done, yeah. All right, let's see what we got. All right, they're trying. Still not above 400, huh? Wow. Slow. What time is it? 8:15, so we're getting close to lunchtime, which will get even slower. And for the last hour, they've been unable to hold above 400. They had a move up to 425, which is that pivot point, but took a little pullback there. Need to establish themselves above 405 if there's hope to this trade. PR 77. When did I start drinking coffee? I think I drink coffee every now and then for years. But it's okay. It's I try to limit my caffeine intake because then I can't sleep. Good to see you, by the way, PR77. It's been a while. All right, starting to wick again at these moving averages, so not able to push above 400 again. All right, here comes an attempted flush. We test that pivot point again. Flying to Winnipeg, nice. I remember that last year, right? That was the trip you and I made out there. Winnipeg. That's where I got those, what are they called? What are those things called? Forgot the name of those. We got some nice sweets in Winnipeg. All right, looks like 400 is failing. Like I said, I'll let the stop hit, but I'll call it a day in terms of trading for today. Or at least for now, I'll probably come back for the power hour. But looks like the all-time high was set, and that's it for today. Yeah, Macaroon's right. Exactly. Those are good. All right, here comes the final flush. How low will it go? Will it continue, or is there a bounce? No bounce. No bounce. So if they are going to push this down, I mean, you got VWAP all the way down to 340. That's why I'm holding the stop. I won't move the stop down to 340, hoping for a bounce down there. My play is based on the break of the pivot point. So I'm going to hold the stop, not adjust the trade for a VWAP bounce. I'm going to do the VWAP bounce. It'll be after I get stopped out. That's if I want to trade more today, considering the drawdown that I'm in. But the initial play, the whole reason I'm in a long is I'm playing a pivot point bounce to the upside. So I can't adjust. I have to leave the stop based on that. Right or wrong, you still gotta stick to the original trade. Sure, VWAP is at 340 and they can flush it down there, but there's no reason to take all that drawdown down to 340. I can re-enter at 340. All right, so that's the second pivot point test on that bull flag. Let's see if that's what it needed to push. But for it, they still got to close above 405. Otherwise, these are little give you hope bounces that get flushed right back down. PR77, by the way, when is Stampede Calgary? I may just go this year. Last year was fun up there, but I haven't checked. What are the dates for, or did it already play? Did it already happen? Isn't that earlier? Yeah, I think it's in February, March. All right, indecision at this pivot point. It's going to go one way or the other. It's either a flush or a pop. If the bulls can save the pivot point and push above 405, there may be light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, PR, okay. They're struggling. They can't push this up. The 5-minute has, some of the oscillators on the 5-minute have reset. Let's see if there's continuation to this move up. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 5-minute candles in this range. Trying to figure out direction. All right, they're attempting 400 again. They've done that 1, 2. This would be the third time after the test of the pivot point. looks like it's going to be extended. They're going to drag this one out for the upside or the downside. It's going to be dragged out. But do me a favor, if you're enjoying the stream, smash that like, smash that subscribe, help me out with the YouTube algo. I live stream from Arizona, 3 hours behind Eastern. So if you're curious about my times, it's because they're 3 hours behind New York Eastern. We are in a long. We're hoping to get the breakout of this pivot point above 400. But bulls have been unable to establish above 400 for about an hour. They've been consolidating here. It could be looked at as an extended bull flag, but we'll see. I do have a tight stop below the range of the initial breakout. And it's stop, or we look at 325 again. Potential 340 target to the upside. But again, we got to push above 405 and hold this time. This is now the third attempt once we re-entered the range. Getting hopes up on these longs. They're trying 400. They need to push above 400, 405 and hold. That's the first step. They can't do that. I'm in trouble. All right, they're attempting to break out of this range. That was the initial consolidation on the initial move up. 405 is that number. The hold, close, a couple 5-minute candles above that. And there might be hope for this trade. If they do push above 405 and hold, we know that the pivot point is at exactly where we took the initial rejection, right? At 425, 428. They would need to push above that. Otherwise, we get another pivot point touch and take a pullback. But we'll worry about that when we get there. When and if we get there. And again, 400 staying as resistance, unable to push above. They've been in there for about an hour, hour and a half trying to push above 400. We had a little look above and fail to that pivot point, so. And no luck on this push yet. All right, here's another attempt to try to push above 400. 400 is the wall of China right now, and they push above. Okay, here it goes. Ooh, wicked out. They got to close above 405 and hold. And we might be alive for the trade, but they got to push above 405 and hold, not wick it back down. Yeah, it's exactly what I didn't want to see. Wick it back down. So clearly 400 is becoming resistance. Will it be the kiss of death for the bulls today? And the bears pick it up from here to the downside. That's the third attempt after the initial pullback from 425. And right back down. $400 just not happening, huh? Mix 2525. You're also in Arizona. Nice. There's a couple of viewers from Arizona. I live in Chandler. I know there's some people that tune into the channel from Scottsdale, Phoenix, Goodyear, Peoria. So we got a couple Arizonians here. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, Pawn. It's a toss up. They're trying to build their move up to 400, above 400. So far, that pivot point did hold, which is okay, but it's slow. That's the bounce on the pivot point. It's slow. If they're gonna grind it, they can grind it up, but it's still not convincing until we get above 405 and hold. They may still need more consolidation. They may need to test the bottom of this breakout range, right? This was the initial breakout. We had consolidation here, so they may come back to test this, potentially stop me out. And even if the bounce does happen there, I think I'll be done for the day. May come back for power hour or just call it. And still nothing, huh? Grinding. 405, like I said, they got to push above 405 and hold. Tempting 400 again. Okay, here we go. Is it going to be a wick and just test the top of that range and come back down? Or are they going to be able to push through this? For now, struggling. So again, 405 is that initial breakout out of this range. It needs to push above 405 and hold. Otherwise, it's trapping. And then you get another flush into this range. Okay, here we go. Like, if it is going to push, then 425 or 428, that pivot point is the test. Be the second test if they take the pullback there or continue to the upside for further all-time highs. But still not above 405, so I'll believe it when they get above 405 and hold. There we go, right back down. 405 is been tough. Another test of those moving averages. 400 becoming the wall of China today. They just can't push. Right here, 405. And they push above that and hold. Or are they going to be range bound? And this is the top of the range, and we come back down, come back up. We'll find out pretty soon. We're going into 2-hour consolidation around 400. Crazy. Nope. They just have not been able to pop it above 405. Getting close, but they're stair-stepping it. Bears take the elevator down. Need to pop it quickly, otherwise bears might have to take a big juicy flush to the downside. All right, here you go. They're trying. they trapping some bulls trying to play the 400 break just to flush it back down, or is this the break? All right, unable to 405. 405, I'll believe it. 405 with a hold. Has to hold about 405, otherwise it's a trap. With another look above and fail. That little line that I got there, that's the key. This is crazy price action. The momentum, the buildup. All right, 405 has to hold, and we got to close a green candle above 405 for that long to have some life to it. Otherwise, it's just tempting bulls into longs and then brutal flush. That line, 405. Will she pop? Build in suspense. Ooh, looks like it's going back into range. It is getting tight, so either we see a pop or we see a pretty sharp pullback here. This is probably the tightest it's been in the last 2 hours, right? It's been really tight. And the problem is it's been tight in a stair step. That's usually the elevator indicator where the bears just come in and elevator it down. But it ain't over till it's over. $405. Can't push through. This is crazy price action. The build up into what's going to happen is insane. Tighter and tighter. Every little wick to the upside is starting to get sold back down. That's not good. Not good if you're in a long or if you're looking for the 405 break. It's like another pullback here. It's tight. Dramatic buildup on this. Which way will she break? To the upside or to the downside? And breaking down to the downside. And there is the elevator down. That would be frustrating if it needs another touch of that pivot point. Oh, how long are we going to be dragged out in this? Nope. Can't position above 400. Crazy. And if it will, it's turtle pace. Watching for 405. The break above 405 and a hold above 405. So we know 405 is a good level. Let me make sure I write this down. We'll probably be entertaining that level next couple of days for pullbacks, breaks. Unbelievable how dragged this out is. I mean, even if it goes down, I don't care at this point. I just want resolution of a trade. Jeez. Testing everyone's patience today. But if you're new to the stream and you're enjoying the content, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe. It does help me with the YouTube algo. I live stream from Arizona, 3 hours behind New York Eastern. I do 9:15 a.m. Eastern every morning, and starting to do the Asia session 9:15 p.m. Eastern Monday through Thursday. So I'll be on tonight as well for Asia 9:15 p.m. Eastern. All right, building. Can she push? Can she push, or is she trapping more bulls up here? Just tempting them. Then bye-bye, elevator down. Like I said, if it doesn't push above 405 and hold, it's trapping. Trappy behavior. And if it needs another test of that pivot point, oh, that would be brutal. Brutal for resolution to the upside or to the downside. Just dragged out another couple of hours. So what does the chat think? Chat, are we going to break above 400 on this wave, or are we taking another pullback? What do you guys say? Break in this wave, or are we taking a pullback first? Pull back first, okay. Got one answer. Andres Cruz, pull back first. Yeah, I mean, you got VWAP at 340. You got the 200 SMA creeping up to 350. So between VWAP and the 200, I could see a pullback down here. I'll get stopped out, but I could see the pullback here for a potential long. Yusuf, 406, break above 406 and go up. All right, I like it. Let's see. If it fails here, it's trapped a lot of players into this break. Just hinting at little wicks. We're going up, and then the flush. That'll be very trappy behavior if it takes a strong pullback here. But that's NQ. Nasty NASDAQ. Mark A, 480. I like your thinking. I'm settling for 440, but if it goes for 480, at that point, it's probably targeting 500. But I like it. I like your thinking. So for now, if we do get the break, like I said, I'm targeting 440. Sure, it can continue to the upside, assuming we even get there, but how long do I want to drag this out? I'm going to draw a little line at 405, so I know this week that level right there, critical. And a strong resistance area for today. That area is going to be tested for support, resistance over the next couple of days, assuming we don't just rocket to the moon today. King Caesar, Mr. Julio. Smart move. No need to get trapped. I agree. It's a pretty extended 405 break if it's ever going to happen. I mean, look at how many wicks. It's about half an hour. Forget about the overall range. Just look at how much time it's spent trying to push above 405. Time is usually on the bull side, but that doesn't mean anything. We'll see. We shall see. It ain't over till it's over, but I am keeping a hard stop there and not adjusting it. If we take the stronger pullback to test the bottom of that range, then be it. Probably not interested in another re-entry until later this afternoon. I'll call it. It's 9 a.m. It's about to be 9 a.m. here in Arizona. That'll be some good time to go have some breakfast, the gym, then maybe come back for power hour. But it's looking trappy up there. Trying to get longs to commit to that break and then flush them out. King Caesar says we'll get the real move in 6 minutes. The noon lunchtime reversal, we'll see. Okay, so it looks like it did trap some players up there with now attempting to flush. Which way will she go? Which way will she go? – Peter Chan, I think the next 30-minute candle break will determine direction. Possibly, yeah. We just had a 30-minute hammer, right? Yeah. That's a long consolidation. 640, 740, 2 hours in this range. If she finally flushes to the downside, trappy, man. That's nasty. Nasty NASDAQ. Getting the hopes up for anybody in a long position. All right, looks like it trapped. Looked like it was a trap. Another test of the pivot point, and now it just flushed below the pivot point. If the pivot point didn't hold or doesn't hold, then that was the trap of the day, hovering above 400 for almost 2 hours. Or we're just range bound. We're not going to see any push above or, you know, strong pushes below. We could just be stuck in this range for the rest of the day, and not interested. Stop me out, and like I said, I'll come back later or call it a day. That other JC, you had some nice green, brother. Nicely done. Congrats. Good job. So let's see how far this pullback goes. Notice the 200 SMA slowly creeping up. Closer it gets to price action, the more it attracts it, where you need a strong flush to hit the 200 and possibly at that point bounce. Like I said, at that point I'm done for the day, but the 200 SMA is coming up for a potential touch. Now it coincides with VWAP at 340. If we need the stronger pullback for a potential bounce, but not extending my stop to 340 or the test or the VWAP bounce. Not making it easy neither way. Yeah, that 200 SMA and VWAP is looking more attractive now for price action, where I could see a flush down to those areas. We just trapped some bulls waiting for this breakout, so stronger pullback to flush them out or shake out any longs, and then the bounce potentially, or a full reversal on this. And like I said, I wouldn't be interested at that point. I'll call it a day. That was a nasty trap up there. Nasty. Good, close to my stop, the bottom of that range. At 340, 360 area, I could see further pullback down there before any bounce. But like I said, I won't be interested to play the bounce down there. I'll have to take a little break and either come back for power hour or call it a day. All right, came back down, tested the bottom of that range again, attempting to bounce. But until we get above 405, not believing it. So what did we just test? We tested the breakout area, right? Right here. So my stop is below the lowest wick after the breakout, right? So I'm leaving the stop. It's either that area holds, in other words, this range that we've been watching now for 3 hours. Either that holds or it breaks and it'll hit my stop. Sticking to the trade. So now the 9 EMA, they need to position above this if they're going to make a bounce. Otherwise, we're now in a descending channel using the 9 EMA as resistance, and we slowly start pushing down again. I'll be right back. We just got another test of pivot point. It's that 380 level. She want to flush now to 340, and this 200 SMA is, it's too close now. There's no reason why it won't get pulled into that. You got VWAP here, you got the 200, and yeah, unfortunately for me, it means getting stopped out. But that's how these things play out sometimes. So now bears have been able to hold below the pivot point. So looks like we're in for further down. All right, it's looking like I'm going to get stopped out pretty soon, guys, so appreciate you tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. I'll be on tonight, 9:15 p.m. Eastern, for a little bit of the late night Asia session. Unfortunately, we just didn't get the break above 400 on this move. And, like I said, with the moving average, 200 SMA coming in, creeping in for a touch, and VWAP at 340, I think the touch is very likely at this point, which means I get stopped out and I call it a day. If it's just stuck in that range, that'll be frustrating. King Caesar, yeah, the bounce at 200 SMA does look like the play. Because I got some pretty significant drawdown, I can't move my stop at this point. I think it's just time for me to take a break, come back later for power hour, or come back for the evening session. Yeah, that 200 SMA creeped. It's only a matter of time before we see a quick flush for the touch, and unfortunately at that point that could be the bounce that I've been waiting for. Unlucky with timing. There she goes for my stop and that 200 SMA. Just unlucky with timing. That was a good wick if it holds. If it comes right back down, then it's just a matter of time before it touches the 200 and possibly VWAP at. VWAP is now at 344. Dragging it out today. Not making it easy. That 200 SMA is getting too close. It's too juicy for a touch. And the problem with that is I get stopped out. It's only a matter of time before it comes for that touch. It's like a magnet. The even more frustrating part is that's where the bounce might occur. But not moving to stop. VWAP is also creeping up to 345 at this point. So between the 200 and 345 down here, it's only a matter of time before you see the flush to this area. The part that sucks is that may be the bounce. But 3 losing trades, I'd call it right there. Just keeps dragging this out. Look at that 200, oh, it's unfortunate that my stop is literally where it wants to go touch. But I can't get in the habit of moving stops. There's that test of the 9. So far, the 9 has been providing resistance, right? The blue line comes, touches it, pushes right back down, and the 200 at this point is just way too close. Way too close to not get touched. And they push above that 9 without having to touch the 200. If they don't need to touch the 200, I might be alive. If they still need more of a stronger bounce area, then the 200 SMA would be a stronger bounce area. And unfortunately, look how close it is to my stop, but I'm not moving it. Got enough drawdown today. You start moving stops, you get into that habit of moving stops. I've been caught with some questionable stop moves lately, so we'll let the stop ride. All right, so now it's the classic 20 and 200. The back and forth. 200 obviously has more power, so more power in terms of support and resistance. I don't know. I think it needs a touch. We'll see. Attempting to push above that 20. Bears are trying to flush below the 20 and the 200 at this point, or the 9. Can the Bulls pick it up from here without having to touch the 200? If they need the 200 for the bounce, then I'm out. Just too close, and it is what it is. I would need to call it a day. Oof, brutal rejection at the 20. It's hunting for the 200, and it may need that little touch before any move to the upside or potential just flush below the 200 for VWAP. Either way, I'm toast. And okay, I think we're going for my stop. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. I'll be back tonight for anybody trading Asia, 9:15 p.m. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you all taking the time to tune in. I know there's a lot of talented traders out there. Today, 3 losing trades, and that's my sign. Call it a day, buddy. And unfortunately here, we have the potential buildup of the bounce around the 200 and VWAP, but I can't extend the stop. It's literally gonna hit my stop and bounce. My stop became the bounce area. Oh my god. Ugh, but that's how trading works. So 340-ish area is what it's looking for, right? VWAP. I'm probably hunting for that VWAP touch at this point. But like I said, I'm done. Get stopped out and call it a day. Well, still alive. Still alive until it hits the 9 EMA and rejects again. Caesar full port. If I wasn't in the red, if I wasn't in significant red, I probably would have added down there. But I can make it worse if this thing wants VWAP touch, then I'll push my drawdown even further. No need to do something silly like that. I'm copy trading here, so there's a couple accounts going into some nice red today. All right, if that 200 SMA can go above my stop, then I have some life. Let's see what happens at the 20. They rejected at the 20. And we took a strong pullback right here. 20 is that magenta line. This could be just a dead cat bounce, nothing staying within that descending channel that we're in right now. 200 SMA now is above my stop, but not enough for the wick. Let's see where she goes. So we're in a descending channel, so it is respecting it. In other words, we're popping right to the top of that channel. See it right here, boom and boom. Until we get above this area, my position is still in trouble. That other JC, he's getting some signals. The clouds are talking to him. It's time to long. Yeah, I wish I wasn't in based on the drawdown. I'm not moving to stop. I gotta stick to it. If it stops me out and that's the bounce, then be it. I think at this point it's so close to VWAP, it has to touch VWAP. All right, guys, we're about to get stopped. I'll see you all tomorrow. Tonight, if you trade Asia. And today we're taking about a $1,500 loss per account and not looking to try to recover. 3 trades and they didn't play out. There's the 200 SMA touch. But with VWAP just a couple steps below, I don't think I'll survive. Oh, man. All right, come on. Let's go. Hit my stop so I can call it. All right, stopped out, guys. Have a good rest of the day. I will see you all tomorrow or later tonight, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in. And today, red day, $1,500 in the red per account. We'll see what we do later tonight or tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. Bye.